How did fog nearly decimate London? In December 1952, the city of London experienced one of the most devastating environmental disasters in history. The Great Smog, also known as the Big Smoke, would leave a lasting impact on the city and its residents. The story of the Great Smog begins years before that fateful December. Post-World War II London was undergoing significant industrial growth. Coal was the primary source of fuel for both homes and industries. The city's power stations and factories, along with domestic coal fires, released large amounts of smoke and sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. This explosive regrowth led to a situation that could only cause the inevitable. As winter approached in 1952, a cold snap gripped London. Residents burned more coal to keep warm, unaware that this routine action would soon contribute to a deadly environmental crisis. On December 5th, 1952, an anticyclone settled over London. This high-pressure system created a temperature inversion, trapping cold air and the pollutants emitted from thousands of chimneys close to the ground. As the day progressed, a dense fog mixed with the chimney smoke, vehicle exhaust, and industrial emissions, forming a thick, yellowish smog that blanketed the city. Visibility dropped to just a few meters. The smog was so dense that it seeped indoors, darkening homes, theaters, and shops. Streetlights and neon signs were barely visible. Transport came to a standstill. Cars collided, trains were delayed, and flights were grounded. Major power plants such as Battersea Power Station and Bankside Power Station were significant contributors to the pollution. These facilities, burning low-grade, sulfur-heavy coal, emitted vast amounts of smoke and sulfur dioxide, compounding the already dire situation. Hospitals were overwhelmed with patients suffering from respiratory distress. The smog exacerbated conditions such as bronchitis, pneumonia, and other lung diseases. The death toll began to rise sharply. Initial estimates suggested that around 4,000 people died as a direct result of the smog. Later research indicated that the death toll might have been as high as 12,000, with many more suffering long-term health effects. One key figure during the crisis was Sir Donald Acheson, who later became the Chief Medical Officer for England. Acheson recognized the severity of the health crisis and played a crucial role in bringing the issue to the attention of the government and the public. As the smog thickened, emergency services were stretched to their limits. Reports emerged of numerous car accidents with drivers unable to see the road ahead. Public events were canceled, and even ambulances struggled to reach those in need. On December 7th, the smog was at its peak. Notably, a performance at the Sadler's Wells Theater had to be canceled because the smog had infiltrated the building, making it difficult for the audience to see the stage. The immediate government response was slow. However, public outcry grew as the scale of the disaster became evident. Newspapers like The Times and The Guardian reported extensively on the rising death toll and hazardous conditions. On December 9th, when the smog finally cleared, Londoners were left to deal with the aftermath. The city faced a public health crisis, with thousands of deaths and many more suffering from lingering respiratory issues. The Great Smog of London was a wake-up call. It became clear that something had to change. public outcry and mounting evidence of the health impacts of air pollution led to significant legislative action. In 1956, the British government passed the Clean Air Act. This landmark legislation aimed to control domestic and industrial smoke emissions, introducing smokeless zones where only smokeless fuels could be burned. The act marked a turning point in environmental policy, leading to further regulations in the 1960s and beyond. These measures significantly improved air quality in London and set a precedent for other countries facing similar challenges. The Great Smog of London remains one of the most infamous environmental disasters in British history.